Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Runers. This is a new Let's Play that I'm going to be hopefully starting, and this is going to be obviously the first episode and the first series that I'm ever going to be making for YouTube. Isn't that exciting? And Runers is a game that I found very recently. It's a really great little top-down roguelike, which I know will make many people think, especially considering that Rebirth is coming up, make people think, Isaac! Yes, and, well, yes, obviously, top-down roguelikes, the Binding of Isaac is always going to flash a card there in the mind. But this is not exactly like Isaac, in fact, nowhere near. It's a really, really good game. Actually, while I'm explaining to you, I'm just going to create a new file here, because, as you can see, I have played this. And let's just go with Flair's LP, how about that? Although that would make it Flair's LPs. So let's just go with LP. There we go. And there we go. Did I really just put that E in there, or is that... You know what? No. Let's... hang on. I'm just trying to decide here. Let's... delete this one, yes. Create a new one. How about LP Flare? That will work much, much better. I have no idea what's going on here, everybody. I'm really sorry. It seems to be... Never mind. It seems to have said, yep, LP Flaria. That's what you wanted. No, it's not. But... let's just get started with this, and first episode I think we can just go with head right on into the tutorials. How about that? Just to show everything off. Loading tutorial. Right. Welcome to the Controls and HUD tutorial. This tutorial will teach you some basic things about the Runers user interface and controlling your character. Click to continue. You can move around by using the WASD keys. Ta-da! WASD. The player always looks at the cursor and aims at the cursor. Practice looking around and moving and shooting. Like that. Touch the portal to continue right here. This is your health bar. Oh, your experience bar is below it and fills up as you kill enemies. When you fill, you gain a level and a menu will pop up that allows you to upgrade your character. Yep, 105 health, probably because of the blessing we have, that'll be explained later. And 300 experience on the next level. Right, this is your loadout. Your loadout contains your class spell, right here. 2 click spells and up to 4 other hotkeyed spells. Sorry, I thought I missed the K there. Click continue. This is your class ability. You can use your class ability with a Q key, which in this case is, because I've played this, distracting melody. I think distracting. For 5 seconds, plays a song and stuns nearby enemies. You can use your class ability with a Q key. Right. These are your click spells. Left spells used by left clicking, right spells used by right clicking. Duh. Magic Missile fires a beam of magical energy that lowers your cooldowns. We'll get into this more later. These are your hotkey spells. I'll probably be rebinding these. Well, you can see I have them bound now, but I've recently changed my mouse, so I'm not entirely sure exactly which keys these are bound to. It's going to be very interesting finding out. I'll just change that in the options, I'll think. Yes, only 2 unlocked at the start. This is where your buffs are. So hover over it, and ta-da. Magic Missile reduces cooldowns by 10%, which is very handy. While exploring the floor, you can hit Tab to view the map. Ta-da! Right there. And I'm going to be playing with this on, because it's just easy to navigate. And all these here, well, they're just useful to know, as are these. The inventory and quick stats, also very handy. Let's see. Now, the O key can just view your current statistics, sorry, like that. So, 9 spells, no % accuracy because we haven't hit anything because there hasn't been anything to hit. Destructibles hit and killed, enemies hit and killed, damage dealt and received, XP earned, levels gained, runes grabbed, health packs grabbed, combiners grabbed, spells made, runes combined, rune upgrades, and miscellaneous like time and time moving. And then there's distance moved, falls. You can read all that, I'm sure. The escape key will bring up your inventory. We'll go there in the next tutorial. Right here. The space key will instantly pause the game. Ta-da. Allowing you to inspect buffs you have or enemies you are facing. Right. Continue the next tutorial. I think I'm going to do this I'm going to do the tutorial just because... oh, let's press left control to quit, by the way. I'm just going to go through this so everybody understands, hopefully. Well, this is enemies, objects, and items. About destructibles, enemies, and pickups. Righto. These are destructibles. Destructibles come in various forms and are just obstacles and runes that can be destroyed. You can take cover below them, behind them, or just blow them up. Destructibles have a small chance to drop runes and health packs. Very handy. Destroy all the destructibles to continue. See me while I just get my aim in again. Bit nervous. There we go. Ta-da! Health pack dropped. Picking up health packs restores your life. You cannot exceed your maximum life, which in our case at the moment is 105. But it's just a bit blessing. Pick up the health pack to continue. These are enemies, specifically rats. Very annoying little bastards. Yep, these rats are relatively harmless, but will attempt to bite you. Some enemies will be large, fast, slow, or cast very deadly spells on small, which I missed. Excuse me. Click continue, and kill the rats. Yes, I go for a bit of a scattergun approach with rats, because I find their movement patterns annoying. A speed rune dropped. Picking up runes adds them to your inventory. Runes can be used for creating and upgrading spells in your loadout. This is further explained in the basic spells and inventory tutorial. Pick up speed rune to continue. Vroomp. This is a champion. Any normal enemy can be randomly a champion. Champions have special modifications that amplify their stats or give them special abilities. This rat is tough, meaning it has massively increased defense but moves more slowly. Champions are the only enemies that drop combiners aside from bosses. Right, kill the champion rat to continue. Okay, there you go. A combiner dropped. Combiners are used to create double and triple spells. If you have 2 runes, you'll need a double combiner. If you have 3 runes, you will need a triple combiner. Click to continue. And finish this tutorial. Now, basic spells and inventory. Right, yeah. Basically, this tutorial will teach you about the inventory and how to create a spell. Right. Ta-da! This is your inventory, and very cool it is. I like the layout. Here you can see your stats, runes, here and here. Oh no, these are rune levels, sorry. Stats, runes, spells, and combiners, which are just a bit hidden there. The inventory screen is also where you perform spell upgrades and combine runes to create spells. Right, these are your player's stats. This is information that describes the current state of your character, which in the tutorial instance is a level 1 bard playing on Wimpy with Blessing of the Human, which is a 5% buff to all stats, which includes health and defense there, which is a minus, of course, because less damage taken, i.e. less crit damage taken, and reduced cooldowns, and everything else. Okay. These are your inventory slots. This is where runes are kept that you have picked up. You can mouse over a rune to get more information about it, which in this case is a bog standard speed rune. These are your combiner slots. Runes can be dropped into these slots to be combined into a spell. And this is the loadout. Spells can be rearranged here by dragging and dropping spells onto other loadout slots. When exiting the inventory, any spell that was moved will get a 5-second cooldown. Click to continue. This is the spell demo area. Picking up or hovering over a spell will give you a preview of that spell. Try hovering over Magic Missile to give it a shot, okay, and we will. And this is Magic Missiles, very basic, level 1 spell out of the. Well, I'll explain later, but as you can see, Magic Missile damage 3.15, speed 105, duration 0.74 seconds, 1.05 knockback. 0.32 meters, which is the size of the projectile, I believe. Yes, it is. Cooldown, which is 0.38 seconds. Global cooldown, I'm guessing that's global cooldown, but I don't exactly know what it is. Might be the cooldown to the... No, it's not the cooldown to the buff. I'm not sure entirely what that global cooldown means entirely in this game. But, as you can see, cooldown buff, 10%, and buff duration of... Buff duration of 1 second, and there's something here I'll explain in a second. Let's create a spell. First, pick up a speed rune by clicking on it. Ta-da! Place the speed rune in the combiner. Into the combiner it goes. When the combiner contains runes, information about the spell being created is previewed. If the spell is undiscovered, the name will not be revealed. In this case, Kinetic Bolt. Now, double combiners, the amount you have. Triple combiners, the amount you have. And these are them. Spells that take more than 1 rune, like that, require the appropriate combiner if that spell has not been discovered. That's I was a little bit confused about that, but basically means any previously discovered spell does not need a combiner, which for some reason, while I was just getting into the game, I thought it did. It was very, very odd and silly of me. But, no, what the hell. Click the Combine button to create a spell with your speed rune. And we've got Kinetic Bolt. Oh, damn it. That was basically just saying put it into that slot. Okay, dispose of spells or runes, put them in their respective trash can. Runes trash, spells trash. Easy peasy. Kinetic Bolt. Fires a fast-moving kinetic bolt, and actually the flavor text for Magic Missile, yes, fires a beam of magical energy that lowers your cooldowns. I said it earlier, I think. Right, you can find more information about spells you have and haven't discovered in the Rune Decks. You can access the Rune Decks from the main menu or from the inventory screen here. Click anywhere to finish the tutorial. And yes, advanced spells. The next one. This tutorial will teach you about upgrading spells and more details about spells. Back into the inventory we go. Rune mods are stats that can appear on runes, like this one, which is Raging, plus 5% damage dealt. These stats are applied to spells when they are created, not at any other time, only when they're created. You can hover over a rune to see what extra stats it might have. Okay, pick up speed rune to continue. And drop the rune in the combiner. There we go. And as you see, Kinetic Bolt with plus 5% damage. And when the combiner contains runes with rune mods, they're summoned and shown here. And shown here. These stats will be permanently applied to the spell you create. Ta-da! Kinetic Bolt with increased damage. Right, a spell component. Back over here. A spell component is one of the rune types that were used when making this spell. For example, Kinetic Bolt was created with a speed rune, so it has a speed component, which is that very cool little orange symbol, which I can't... I swear it's something astrological, but I can't remember it. Well, it's a rune. It must be. But yes. To upgrade a spell, you must drop a rune on a spell that has a rune type as... that rune type as a component. Excuse me. In this case, to upgrade Kinetic Bolt, you must drop a speed rune on it because it was created with a speed rune. Modifiers on runes are not applied to spells when upgrading them, so it's a very, very relevant thing to keep there. And yes, drop it on there. And as you can see, there we go. The stats that get upgraded for a spell are indicated by the rune symbol next to that stat. Rune upgrades by default are capped at 10 per rune type. Sorry, that slid off. As you can see just here. No real good way to show that without excuse me, without unmousing over it. Extra double combiners may be upgraded into triple combiners by combining 4 together. This is done by clicking the Combiner Upgrade button. Very handy. And they can also be smashed for additional experience. Shatter them to continue the tutorial. Smash, smash, smash. Ka-smash! Hee-hee, rooms and exploring. Right. And what you may find in them. Okay, hazards. This is a very standard one. Hazards are obstacles that affect you negatively if you stand on them. Use hazards to outmaneuver enemies, or you can knock enemies onto them. So yes, fire hazards burn you, ice hazards slow you. I haven't actually come across any of these, as far as I've gotten into the game yet, but who knows, maybe we will. Try stepping on the hazards. The fire hazard will not hurt you in the tutorial. But move speed, right there. Slows movement by 50%, source large ice patch. And taking damage over time, source large fire pit. You can see the health bar all nodding. Click to continue. Oh, that's cool. Room buffs, room auras are buffs that are applied to everyone in the room and are always active. Room auras can modify rune levels, move speed, bullet speed, and many other stats. They are randomly generated and their potency increases on higher difficulties and lower floors. So, for example, slows movement speed by 18% in this little tutorial case. Nope. And something's... Oh, there we go. There's odd freeze up there. Some rooms are event rooms that generally have a special trigger in the centre of the room. Simply touch the pickup to activate the event. As you complete events, you earn experience, and if you win the event, you get a permanent stat increase. You can hover over an event icon to learn more about it, which in this case is Stasis. Can you win with powers reduced? Activating the Stasis event will unleash the enemies and curse you with a reduction to all rune levels, which is not so bad on lower levels, I think, but on higher difficulties and floors, I'm guessing that's going to be really bad. And it is, because you want rune levels, either on the spells or on your character, because they just make things better. Right. Adjacent rooms that have events, room auras, or bosses will emit a particle in their doorway. This is to let you know the room you're going into is potentially dangerous. So, like here, we have this nice little, very fine white particle for just a basic room aura, this kind of more cloudy, larger green one for event rooms, and this very smoky, very large particle red one for boss rooms. And that's very appropriate, especially in this game. These are stairs! Who'd have thought? A random room in each floor will contain the way down to the next floor. Upon transitioning between floors, you have the option to save and exit the game to resume at a later time, which is very handy, because this game, it can be quite long. I think I've only ever reached floor 5. I think there may be 10. You get each time, each run. But, yeah, it's very long, so this is a very handy thing if you need to take a rest, which is recommended. You can only save progress to continue during floor transitions, and each in-progress game can only be loaded once, so no save stating. Touch the stairs to complete the tutorial. Woohoo! We're done! Haha, character improvement. Almost done, I should say. Right, welcome to the character improvement tutorial. My word, there are a lot, aren't they? This tutorial will teach you some basic things about leveling up, traits, stats, and improving your stats. Sorry. Got the emphasis all wrong there. Right, player stats. Affects all spells when possible. Increased damage will increase your damage sources, cooldowns will let you shoot spells more often, etc. Stats can also exist on a per spell basis, such as spells made with runes with rune mods. Exit to continue. Right, increased bullet size is just one of the many stats you can enhance. Try out your magic missile spell to see how 100% increased bullet size affects it. So, out here, that's a normal one. In here, oh. I could have sworn... Oh, sorry, I thought there was a... That might have been just applied in any case. I'm not sure. Here is a quick synopsis of all character stats found in the inventory. Move speed, how fast your character can move. Damage dealt, total damage dealt from all sources. Damage is also included in critical strikes. Damage taken, also known as defense. This should be, I think. Reduces total damage taken from all sources. Crit damage, extra damage applied on top of critical strikes. Extra damage against critical strikes by... extra defense against critical strikes by enemies, sorry. Nerves. Bonus crit chance. The percent chance a spell will get a critical strike on cast. There's a very good blessing for that, which I quite like, and will probably be using. Cooldowns. The time after a spell cast before the spell can be cast again. Bullet size. The size of projectiles and zones. Bullet speed. The speed to which projectiles travel. Moving zones are not affected. Bullet duration. The distance your bullets will go before they expire. Knockback. The amount of force applied to enemies when they are hit. Density. The weight of your character. Higher density reduces knockback on your character, which is an interesting stat. I don't really make use of it too much, but I like it. All stats can be increased permanently by beating event rooms or finishing a floor and touching the stairs. Some races also give stat increases. Yes, they do. Killing enemies gives experience points. After gathering enough experience, your character will level up and you can select a trait. Click to continue. Oh, and that nice little jingle happens. Right. Traits are passive bonuses that are always active on you. Some require special circumstances to trigger. Read each trait's description to learn about it. Selecting a trait again on a future level up will enhance the trait, making it more powerful. So there's a very cool little thing that they had that you can stack traits. And well, first the example ones: Scavenger, which is increase enemy rune drop chance by 10%, very handy. Static Skin, after getting hit 11 times, shoot all nearby enemies with electricity, also quite cool. Damage Control, a random enemy in the room takes 10% of any damage you take, share the wealth indeed. And Soul Rip, killing humanoids releases a piece of their soul, which replenishes health, only one at level 1 as far as I know. Ripping a piece out of their soul out to feast, the path to true darkness. Absolutely. Clearing more rooms and event rooms will help you get more XP and more permanent stat increases in traits. Make yourself the strongest you can be to have the best chance of beating the game. Ta-da! And we're done with the tutorial section, finally. I bet you thought, when was that going to end? And trust me, so was I. Now let's see, that's been about, 20 minutes, I think? Maybe we should get into the next... No. I'll just go into a few more things first, just before we do that. These are the challenges that I've opened up here, so Rat Blaster, 1. Rat Problem. It was all got various little things like Rat Blaster, Rat Problem, Dire Rat Problem, good gods. Winged Rats! They're called bats. Evade them for 20 seconds. Earth Spike Accuracy. Yeah, Earth Spike Accuracy is I haven't tried it one, but Earth Spike is difficult to aim with. I tell you, let's try Rat Blaster, and I'll show you the challenge. Just see. This is Earth Spike going on here, and as you can see, well, for me, oh, come on. I've beaten it once, but not this time. I was in the other one. So that's just a little example of... That's a little example of the challenges there. I'll probably dip back into those infrequently. Right, this is the rune decks, which you didn't actually get to see. And one of the things I love about this game, look at how many spells there are. 285 potential spells. Huge quantities. And they're all so different. And there really are a lot. And yes, these are the types of runes that are in the game. So there's water, fire, air and earth, shock, mind, speed, dark, light and entropy. And they're all very different and very interesting way of doing it. And as something that I don't think was mentioned in the tutorial, if you see... yes, we're still on Magic Missile. Because Magic Missile is maybe the light rune, the thing, when you're increasing a spell with another rune of the same type, of a component type rather, what will get buffed is denoted by the rune to the side here on the spell stats. So, for instance, with Earth Spike, increasing that. Putting more earth runes on decreases the delay. Spark has an increased range. Airwave, increased knockback. Kindle, increased damage and dot damage, because it does half damage initially and then the other half over 2 seconds. Droplet increases the AoE. I quite like Droplet, it's a good one. Mind Spike is a piercing one, increases the duration of the bullet, which is very handy. More piercing. Kinetic Bolt just increases the damage because it's really fast. As you can see, 400 and 0.3 seconds. That's still enough to make it across quite large rooms. Well, actually no, most of the way across most rooms, because rooms in this game are quite large when there's fighting in them. Corruption, which adds a debuff to enemies. As you can see there, the debuff speed, debuff cooldown, which is what happens to the opponents, as in that handy little demonstration thing in the bottom right. Chaos Bolt, I've never picked that myself, but basically, yeah, Chaos Bolt fires in a mysterious bolt in a random direction. Isn't that fun? But also something that is quite handy. See the filter by tags things here. You don't actually have to know what a spell is to filter. So, for instance, zones. These, for all 42 here, right here, these are all zone spells that are classified as zones, at least, in part or wholly. Mostly in part, because there are some that contain multiple different tags. That's the best way to say it. So, zones, buffs as well. Magic Missile, right here, has the cooldown buff, so decreases spell cooldown. Ultimates as well. There are no buff ultimates, apparently. But there are 13 ultimates that do various things, which I'm assuming there's going to be several that do a lot of damage. But yeah, they're all very random, and you can just look these up immediately, if you like, and try and go after them. But, what do you say we do that in the... Hang on. Bestiary? I haven't actually gone into that, so nothing there. But we can probably go... Yep, no statistics for this one. We can probably go into that in the next episode, I think. Because it's been, what? Yeah, a good half hour by now. So I'm going to sign off, and next episode we will actually have a run. How about that? Okie dokie, well, whatever time you may be watching this, this is Flair, and I will see you, hopefully, next time.